I thought with the 5 ways to get the new board size, that would be the end of this whole discussion, but it is not. A lot of people are quite angry at me still because I told them that people are going to be playing on the new board size. Honestly, I can't even stop laughing. It's so funny. People are still shouting at me, telling me I was stupid.
Like, honestly, can you imagine waking up in the morning and thinking that this is something to get angry about? It is irresponsible and frankly moronic to suggest to people that cut their mouths. You clearly do not feel the responsibility that come with your reach owning this hilarious not post. There are a lot of people in the world who have no ability to think for themselves. You will have them deface their own purchase because you yourself are too stupidly to think independently. Why the F are you coming up on my timeline? Maybe it's because you keep commenting on my stuff and getting angry at me. That's why I keep coming up on your timeline. Like the video, please subscribe.
Also, this guy tagged me in like Warhammer 40k group or something like that, and he was like, "Okay, Hellstorm dude, about your assertion that ICC is going to 44x60 instead of 6x4 and everyone should cut their mats. How about the words of GW today? The minimum size battlefield guidelines are just that, minimum sizes, yada 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 yada." I'm quoting the community article. It's not the optimum size, but the minimum to make sure the game is decent on most dining room tables. Tournaments considering to the minimum size are, in my opinion, making a mistake. You know what I had to say to that?
Small board gang. Please like and subscribe.
Someone suggested they have an anime intro in the next coffee time. So this isn't coffee time, but I did contact an animator about getting an anime made about me slaying zombie mats to the smaller size. And yeah, I'm looking at like $2,000. And I don't know about you, but I've just been furloughed and I don't have $2,000. So I learned how to animate in the past 3 days. I've learned how to animate, so here is the next best anime. I need a name for it. My name is Hellstorm Dude, and I stand alone. It's me versus the 6x4 neoprene. Everyone has gone mad. They only know how to say one thing now. They're just zombies now. And I will strike them down! Small board gang! My sanity is slipping, but I'm the only one who can stop them. My God, what a crazy few days it's been, guys. It's been absolutely insane. Like, I am just blown away by the sheer anger and insane response to, like, what's been going on with the mat size change and the board size change. It's been absolutely unreal. Small board gang. That's all I'll say. Hashtag small board gang. Make sure you cut your mat. So, basically, for anyone who doesn't know, if you are new to this video or you're new to the channel, thank you very much for tuning in. If you didn't know, on last week, Games Workshop announced that they'll be releasing a new board size for Warhammer 40k. So, throughout the past 30 years, the board size has been 6x4 or 6 foot by 4 foot. And on, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week, they decided to announce that the new minimum size would now be 60 inch or 5 foot by 44 inch, which is 3.8 foot. The main reason they gave for this, there wasn't one. And essentially, a lot of people came to the conclusion that essentially a 5 foot table is more like an IKEA dining table rather than, I don't know, like you need a 6x4 board to play Warhammer right now. You don't have that in your house usually unless you got a humongous dining table. A 5 by nearly 4 foot board is more accessible. You're more likely to be able to have one of those at home. It's also the kill team boards that they have. If you get 4 of them, lay them out, you have a strike force battlefield for 2,000 points. The game is changing and a lot of people don't like that. And a lot of community, the problem we're having is that community leaders, like let's say myself, or Frontline Gaming or Nova or LGT or WTC. Whilst they're accepting the new board size as a standard. So the minimum size they are accepting as standard. But Games Workshop are solidly sitting on the fence on this issue. Games Workshop put out this today, it is Thursday. So a number of you have been getting in touch regarding the minimum size battlefield measurements we introduced in last week's article. We're happy to confirm that yes, you can still use your 6x4 or larger gaming table, be they gorgeously detailed around the battle boards or lovingly curated battlefields of your own design. The minimum size battlefield guidelines for combat patrol, incursion, strike force and onslaught battles are just that, minimum sizes. See that? Look, I'm just going to butt in. Minimum size, which means it has to be at least this size. Do you know what that tells you? It means that I know what minimum means. It's probably because I've been told 25 million times in the past 3 days, but there you go. They've been specifically designed to make the game more accessible and compact at smaller sizes and fit on most dining room tables. Again, the dining room table situation, it's so you can fit it on an IKEA table, but they can just be easily as played on larger battlefields as you see fit. The minimum sizes also ensure that armies in bigger games won't be cramped on a battlefield that's too small for them, so there are plenty of room to maneuver. So what does this tell you? It tells you that your board has to be at least this size, right? However, that's not what they've told everybody. This is the public statement, right? Playtesters, such as, I'm gonna have to quote Reese from Frontline Gaming, because he's the one who's been most vocal about it and the most public about it. If you don't know, Frontline Gaming run the independent tournament circuit, or the ITC. They wrote all the rules packs for them before now. They've been playtesting the game since 2016. They've been in the competitive community since 2010. Something like that. Something that Reese said on Signals of the Frontline. It's a great podcast. Reese is a nice guy. Frankie's a great guy too. Reese is also a great guy. I don't know why I just said he was nice. I've met them both in person. They're both lovely chaps. They do amazing things with the community. They run the biggest event in the world. They run the Las Vegas Open, right? Along with loads of other people, but, you know, those two are the face of the company, right? The playtesters have said in private, but then told people that the game has been playtested for the minimum board size. So they have said that the board size, which they have announced as a minimum size, is what the game has been playtested on. So what does that say? It means that if you don't play on 60-inch by 44-inch, you are not playing the game as it was written for. So you are playing the game incorrectly. That's essentially what they've said. In private. The problem is it's in private. It's not public. However, me, being the great guy that I am sharing that information with you. So you can take that and do what you want with it. And if you want to hate me about it, that is totally fine. I literally don't care. They've playtested the game to this new size, and Games Workshop aren't saying the minimum size is the minimum size, which is for match play, but you don't have to play on this size. They're just saying you don't have to play on this size. So with the clear statement that the minimum size tables are the minimum, will ITC and Nova tournaments still insist on downgrading from 6x4 tables to the smaller and arguably cramped battle maps by Nile? Reese from Frontline Gaming has said anyone is free to play on the table size they want to. As we have told other TOs, they are free to use what they have and be an official ITC event to avoid any further investment. We are going to the new size as that's what we feel is going to provide the best play experience for 9th edition, and I would guess it is what we will see at official Games Workshop events, etc. If you want to continue to play on 4x6, by all means, as the article states, you are free to do so. Look, if you don't play competitive events, if you don't play competitions, if you don't play in tournament, you can literally play on any size board you want. Like, there's nothing stopping you. Like, the only reason you play on a 6x4 is because the rulebook told you to. You don't have to. You can play on a 9x4. You can play on a 9x20 if you wanted to. You can play on any size you like. Do you know the rules that are written in your codex? You don't have to follow them. It'd be weird, but you don't have to. They are merely guidelines because you're playing for fun. You're playing narrative. You make up rules when you make up terrain rules. You make up whatever. You're playing in a fun game. You make up rules. It doesn't matter. Do you know if you think Gulliman is too broken with 9 wounds, then give him 10 so you can target him on turn 1. No one cares. Do what you want, it's your game. However, when you come to a competition, everyone has to play by the same rules. There's another article called FLG, the ITC, and the new 40k play surface. And they gave four points about the game change. And this was released on the day that the original article came out. And it says, the 4th point, will we be running our events on these new size services? Yes. We will also other events such as Nova, Adepticon, the LGT, Battle for Salvation, and many more are making the switch as well. Just ask your local community organizer in advance and what to expect to avoid any disappointment. So they are quoting other events that are also moving to this smaller board size. The whole point, what I'm trying to make is No one cares what board size you play on. You can play on any board size you like. You can play with any models you like. You can play any points you like. If you think the Stomper's overpriced, drop its points because no one cares. Reese also said, what will Frontline use for its table sizes going forward for events? The new minimum or the old standard 6x4? And it says, Reese says, we will, yes, while you certainly can play on a 4x6 if that's what you want and want to do. The new size with the addition of missions we're designed for. Plus, as stated above, we can fit more people in the same size space for events that sell out in our shorter space. That is really nice. We don't have to turn away as many people as possible. Also, money. But you can't blame people. I myself, that's the reason I said it. The first reason an event organizer can think is I can get more people into the same venue. But as I said, you don't have to do anything. But I spoke about an opinion which is coming from a TO's perspective and what I've been told by the playtesting team. But Frontline Gaming are moving to the smaller board size. They run the independent tournament circuit, right? No one else has to, but every other big event is moving to the smaller board size, including the WTC or the World Team Championships, right? Every single large event is going to the smaller board size. So people are going to want to practice on the smaller board size, which means your local game store, if it runs one-day event or weekend events, it might start running the smaller board size. So you should cut your battle mat.
FLG.
Honestly, like, you just... This video is like, it's 10 minutes of me just telling you to do what the hell you want. Like, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to be horrible, but like, the game is yours to do what you want. Like, I play board games. I mostly play Warhammer, but I play board games. And I play a lot of board games which are like cooperative, where you play against the game itself rather than playing like against another person. You're playing against the game, like for example Dark Souls, the board game, and you have a number of lives on this game. When you run out, you have to start the game again. If I spent 3 hours getting to the last boss and I lose all my lives, am I just going to pack up and start again? No, I'm not. I'm going to give myself an extra life. Do you know why? Because no one cares. It's only me who cares. Do I mind giving myself an extra life? No. Do I mind playing on a bigger board size? No. But as soon as I'm playing competitively, I have to follow the same rules as everyone else. And that's the main thing that I'm trying to get at, is if you're a narrative player, if you play for fun, if you play on a Thursday night with your mate and you get a board out and you get some beers and have a laugh, I fully support you, and that is exactly what I want you to do. But the competitive scene drives a lot of what happens in Warhammer. It drives the new changes. It fixes a lot of the balance, because usually you don't see something that's broken until you hand that out to millions of people across the world and someone takes it to a big event and absolutely blows everyone away with it. We've seen it with Ynnari, we've seen it with Iron Hands. The competitive scene brings things to light which are bad for the game, and like you hate to see it, but if you play for fun and you use every FAQ, then that has been driven by the competitive community. Like, I'm not saying it's totally the competitive community, but the competitive community helps balance the game. If things go up in points, it's usually because they're broken, and you don't know. I don't know if Games Workshop know if they're broken or they do it on purpose. Things come to light because of tournament, and tournaments are getting bigger and bigger. This year we had the world's largest event ever, the LVO. It was like 900 players or something. It was the biggest event the world has ever seen for Warhammer. There was the most people playing Warhammer at one time in one venue, and it's just like unheard of. So the competitive community, whether you like it or not, is growing, and it does help the game overall. You don't have to play competitive to enjoy Warhammer, but competitive Warhammer helps drive the game. The hobby is 3 things. It's the lore, it's the hobby, and it's the game. And you don't have to like pigeonhole yourself into one of them and hate everybody else. You can appreciate the game and the hobby and the lore all at the same time. I feel like that's where I sit. I enjoy the lore, but I much prefer the hobby and the game. Whereas you at home, you might just like the lore, hate the game, but that's okay. Everyone is included. Warhammer is for everyone, as they said. Unless you're a so maybe I need to leave. Look, Games Workshop are sitting on the fence. It'd be nice if they came out and said this is the size for competitive play. They might do, they might not. But the thing is, what they're doing is, in my opinion, is sitting on the fence for good reason. And I totally support why they're sitting on the fence. People like me are getting hated for putting the idea of cutting battle mats, but it's better for them to have people angry at me than it is to angry at them. Like, I'm not a big company that makes loads of money and is going to piss loads of people off. I don't make hardly any money, and I might be losing my job. I work full time currently. But I've been furloughed and with potential of losing my job. But if they came forward and said, you must play on this new board size, all the people that are angry at me and more are now angry at Games Workshop. They don't want that. What they're saying is essentially, I wouldn't say pandering, but being really loose about it. They're like, play on the big old one if you want. Don't worry about it, bro. Just play on the old one. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool. Whereas if they said you must play on the new size, you've got everyone who has ever bought a battle mat who is angry. You've got everyone who's bought a piece of plywood at the right size who is angry. You've got everyone who's bought a £200 Realm of Battle board, which is terrible to play on and probably a bad purchase in the first place, but they can't easily cut them unless you get a circular saw. You got all them who are angry. And generally everybody everywhere will be angry at Games Workshop if they said this is the new size. So they haven't done that. They've said this is the minimum size, which is kind of like a get out of jail free card. They haven't said you have to play on the new one, but they haven't said you should be playing on the old one. They've just kind of gone, do what you want. And that's what I'm telling you. Do what you want. I don't care. I'm here to talk about competitive Warhammer and things that I find interesting. And what I'm finding interesting is the internet right now. It's just very, very bizarre. So, if you want to cut your battle mat, go for it. If you don't. I don't care. Jack, is this the right attitude to having a video?
Mate, people need to do what they want. They
Yeah.
need to stop taking things so seriously.
They do, yeah. Otherwise, if you're Small Board Gang, become a member of the channel, support me, potentially losing my job and everyone hating me. If you're not Small Board Gang, get out. Honestly, like, do what you want. Like, enjoy the game. It's your Warhammer at the end of the day. But, and a big but, if you want to play competitive Warhammer, it's not your Warhammer, it's everybody's Warhammer. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. It's just like, I'm sure there'll be more. This is like an early coffee time. We're going to have another coffee time on Sunday. I'm also live streaming a live game with Dan on Sunday afternoon at 2 PM British Summer Time. We are using the new battle mat size, the small board gang will be playing. We're also using loads of new 9th edition rules. Essentially playing 8th edition with the rules changes we've seen from 9th. So it should be really fun, so make sure you check it out if you can. Otherwise, have a great day. Check out the other videos and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.